Mike made a statement in time now. You know what I'm saying? And we got to keep his memory alive by not defacing property. And this is what they want y'all to do. This defacing property. Look at this. This don't even say nothing no more. Can't nobody really see it. When the rain come, it could be washed away. But this right here will never be washed away. All these people out here will never be washed away. But I bet you get out there in the middle of the street, they gonna see you because your age. It's all about, it's just like fighting with your mind. Fight with a pen or a paper or a marker. You know what I'm saying?
What? I'm moving backwards. What you want from me?
I feel that although I'm upset, obviously, that these events are occurring and that so many people have had to die in order to get racial issues in America to be talked about, I feel like it's important. It's an important topic that has definitely been coming up a lot lately, and I feel like just from a personal perspective that it seems to have been a sort of awakening for a lot of people, myself included. So I feel that although of course the circumstances surrounding all of these events are extremely tragic and it is completely unacceptable that Black Americans still fear for their lives in 2015.
He was so young, man. He was finna go to college. Like what if that was me, man? Like, I'm 14, I'm just not going to school and stuff. Like, what if that was me finna go to college? Like, and then the only person in my family, and then I die right before the day of school start.
I feel like people are completely justified for protesting, and I know a lot of people will say, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't have wanted them to be violent. Well, MLK, for one, was nonviolent, and he still got shot by the United States government. Like, he was literally assassinated by the United States government. And two, he actually said a riot is the language of the unheard. So, you know, if only the protesters were, you know, doing something productive, like throwing tea in a harbor or something, you know, because, you know, violence doesn't get you anywhere, you know.
Everybody has a right to stand up for what they believe in. I feel like if that's what they truly believe in and they feel like their race is being treated unfairly, then yeah, stand up for it. There's no problem with that.
Because from what I'm seeing, there's a new hashtag every day. Every day there's a new Black kid who's been killed or who's been harmed or who's been sent to the hospital. And I think that says to me the police are not good at what they do. If they fear for their lives so much, that means they're not doing their job right. They are the ones who are law enforcers. They are the ones who are supposed to be protecting people. If you see that much of a credible threat, either every Black person is super dangerous or you're biased. That's...
I saw Trayvon Martin. I saw George Zimmerman get away with it. Now it's another case. Now if this police get away with it, now I'm telling y'all, man, this ain't Florida. This is St. Louis, Missouri.
Testing is absolutely sickening that police officers and others can get away with murder. This is literally, it's murder. It's what you are doing, and they're getting away with it, and people are trying to justify it, and people donate that hundreds of thousands of dollars to these murderers who, Darren Wilson, he didn't have to go to the hospital for anything. He had barely, not even a cut on him. He was the one who was armed. He was the one who shot an unarmed child. He didn't have any charges pressed against him, and people gave him $400,000 as reward money for murdering a child. I think that is completely sickening. It should not be happening.
I think that people want to feel treated like everybody else.
I think what people want, first and foremost, is accountability. And right along with that, justice. I think justice is certainly due, long overdue, for Tamir Rice, Rekia Boyd, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, all the other hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names that have been appearing in, not even in the news most of the time, are at least several lists of demands from protesters, and first and foremost is accountability. And I think that, like I said earlier, with dash cams, body cams, more investigations from unbiased outside sources, and generally more transparency within the legal process of the investigation, and more transparency and more responsibility taken by the officers when they arrest people and when they regulate protests. It has been a while since August 9th, for sure, and it has been even longer since the first civil rights movement. So I feel like, for me personally, in the time since Michael Brown's murder, I have become infinitely more aware of racial issues within the United States and within a global context as well.
American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today that from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.